We are going to talk about the Sustainable Development Goals. We chose the goal number 6, that is ensures access to water and sustain for all.
Clean, accessible water for all is an essential part of the world we want to live in, and there is sufficient fresh water on the planet to achieve this. However, due to bad economic or poor infrastructure, millions of people, including children, die every year from diseases associated with inadequate water supply, sanitation, and hygiene. Water scarcity, poor water quality, and inadequate sanitation negatively impact food security, livelihood, choices, and educational opportunities for poor families across the world. At the current time, more than 2 billion people are living with the risk of reduced access to freshwater resources by 2050. At least 1 in 4 people is likely to live in a country affected by chronic or recurring shortage of fresh water. Drought in specific afflicts some of the world's poorest countries, worsening hunger and malnutrition. Fortunately, there has been a great progress made in the past decade regarding drink sources and sanitation, whereby over 90% of the world's population now has access to improved sources of drinking water. To improve sanitation and access to drinking water, there needs to be an increased investment in management of freshwater ecosystems and sanitation facilities on a local level in several developing countries within sub-Saharan Africa, Central Asia, Southern Asia, Eastern Asia, and Southern East Asia. Benefits of water sanitation and hygiene for families and children. An investment in clean water combined with basic sanitation and hygiene education is one of the most effective ways to improve lives and fight extreme poverty. The benefits include families become healthier. Water sanitation and hygiene programs work together to powerfully prevent the spread of most illnesses and are one of the most effective ways to reduce child death. Children are better nourished. Safe water, sanitation, and hygiene help kids grow taller, smarter, and stronger. They get more nutrition from the food they eat because they are not sick. Families are able to use water to irrigate gardens for more nutritious food year round. Children can attend and excel in school. When children don't have to walk long distance to get water, they have more time to attend school and more energy to learn. This is especially important for girls who most often collect water for the family. And also, family income improves. Families spend less money on healthcare and are better able to pay for things like school supplies and fees. Water also is used for income generation activities like making soap, bricks, and shea butter, as well as watering livestock and gardens.
Fast facts: global water crisis. 800 million people lack basic drinking water access, more than 1 of every 10 people of the planet. Women and girls spend an estimated 200 million hours gulling water every day. The average woman in rural Africa walks 6 kilometers every day to hold 40 pounds of water. Every day, more than 800 children under age 5 die from diarrhea attributed to poor water sanitation. 2.3 billion people live without access to basic sanitation. 292 million people practice open defecation. 90% of all natural disasters are water related.
World Vision is the leading non-governmental provider of clean drinking water in the developing world. We focus on bringing water to the extremely poor, including those with disabilities, in rural areas with the greatest disease burden. More than 700 World Vision's water, sanitation, and hygiene professionals and thousands of development professionals live and work in communities worldwide to co-create solutions that last. World Vision's work results in water that continues to flow. We invest an average of 15 years in a community, cultivating local ownership and training locals to manage and maintain water points. An independent study by the Water Institute at the University of North Carolina one of the premier academic groups in water research, examined 1,470 water resources in 520 communities located in the greater Afram Plains region of Ghana. The report of the research published in 2015 showed that nearly 80% of wells drilled by World Vision continued to function at high levels after 20 years, thanks largely to our community engagement model. World Vision believes that we can solve the global water crisis within our lifetimes. Our efforts include drilling, developing, and repairing wells and other vital water points, teaching local community members how to keep water flowing, overseeing the building of latrines and hand washing facilities, promoting healthy hygiene practices through education and behavior change programming.
Water supply and sanitation in Mexico is characterized by achievements and challenges. Among the achievement is a significant increase in access to piped water supply in urban areas, 88 to 93%, as well as in rural areas, 50 to 74%, between 1990 and 2010. Additionally, a strong nationwide increase in access to improved sanitation, 64 to 85%, was observed in the same period. Other achievements include the existence of a functioning national system to finance water and sanitation infrastructure with a National Water Commission as its apex institution, and the existence of a few well-performing utilities such as Aguas y Drenaje de Monterrey. The challenges include water scarcity in the northern and central parts of the country, inadequate water service quality, drinking water quality. 55% of Mexicans receive water only intermittently according to results of the 2000 census. Poor technical and commercial efficiency of most utilities, with an average level of non-revenue water of 51% in 2003, an insufficient share of wastewater receiving treatment, 36% in 2006, and still inadequate access in rural areas. In addition to ongoing investments to expand access, the government has embarked on a large investment program to improve wastewater treatment.
Earth's population could grow by 3 million in the next 50 to 75 years. More thirsty people means even greater demand on already scarce resources and paradoxically a great chance that exists water source will become polluted. Many of the world's major aquifers are being underpumped, and in some rivers basins, governments have allocated more water than is actually available. Booming megacities, the focal point of growth in the developing world, are concentrating people without proper sanitation system so that they can often pollute water sources with their own waste. The industrial and agricultural growth on which those new billions of people depend add their own pollutants to many water supplies.
40% shortfall in freshwater resources by 2030, coupled with a burgeoning world population, according to current estimates, has the world carrying towards a global water crisis. Recognizing the growing challenge, the UN General Assembly launched the Water Action Decade, officially the International Decade for Action for Water for Sustainable Development on 22 March 2018 to mobilize action that will help transform how we manage water. The goals for the decade, water and sanitation are preconditions to life, and we must put a greater focus on human rights. During the decade, the international community sets out to advance sustainable development, energize existing programs and projects, inspired to achieve the 2030 Agenda.
In the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, the goal number 6 is to ensure access to water and sanitation for all. The 6 targets of this objective is that by 2030, achieve universal and equitable access to safe and affordable drinking water for all. By 2030, achieve access to adequate and equitable sanitation and hygiene for all and end open defecation, paying special attention to the needs of women and girls in those vulnerable situations. By the same year, improve water quality by reducing pollution, eliminating dumping, and minimizing release of hazardous chemicals and materials. Halving the pollution of untreated wastewater and substantially increasing recycling and safe reuse globally. Substantially increase water use efficiently across sectors and ensure sustainable withdrawals and supply of fresh water to address water scarcity and sustainably reduce the number of people suffering from this scarcity. By 2030, implement integrate water resources management at all levels, including through transboundary cooperation as appropriate. By 2020, protect and restore water-related ecosystems, including mountain, forests, wetlands, rivers, aquifers, and lakes. By 2030, expand international cooperation and capacity building support to develop countries in water and sanitation-related activities and programs, including water harvesting, desalination, water efficiency, wastewater treatment, recycling, and reuse technologies. Also, support and strengthen the participation of local communities in improving water and sanitation management.
To conclude, we think that it is essential to provide water to the poor communities, although we can run out of it and it will pollute more easily and faster. With the help of the sustainable goals, we can use it in a correct way and it can last more time.
For our final conclusion, I think that water sanity is very important for human beings. It is essential for every time of our lives. Most of our bodies need water to survive. With the help of the United Nations, this problem will get better, and assuming that the population will increase with the next decade, we need to take a step behind that the one that we have now. I think that we all should start to help with the consume of the water, and that's all. Thank you.